I'm really excited about this topic today because it is very, very not only close to my heart, but important for your journey. It's all about consistency and commitment, what I like to call the non-negotiables. When I'm talking about commitment, I'm talking about to what you need to do on your entrepreneurial journey, because you're going to need these. This is why I call them the non-negotiables. So let's get into consistency to start. Here's the thing. When it comes to owning the creation of your income and you talking about being a full-time entrepreneur and essentially owning, all right, I'm going to own how my talent shows up in the world. I'm going to own and provide for myself economically. That's what I'm doing. That's a conscious choice that I'm making. It's so important that you recognize that in this entrepreneurship journey, your consistency will help you get to the next level. And here's what I mean. Learning by doing is so important. And we talk about this all the time in the accelerator. But when you're first starting out, and a lot of you are either, I'm not sure where I want to go, or you've got a business that's somewhat, it has some legs, but it's not really doing what you need it to do for you to walk away. Sometimes we just generally give up too early. We start out with this just sort of passion and yes, okay, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make this happen and I can see my dream coming forward. And so I'm going to start doing these things every day. And then about 4 weeks, 6 weeks later, 8 weeks later, you can't be found, right? You've decided to sort of retreat. Well, when you talk about truly being an owner and owning that talent, you recognize that in your doing, there's going to be learning. There's going to be many failures, and you need those in order for you to set the course and the direction for what's next. Now, just to tell you a little story, my oldest daughter, Naomi, she is autistic. So she's autistic, and not only is she autistic, there's a piece of her chromosome that's duplicated, and so we've always known since she was actually a baby and doing some genetic testing that she would have just some moments where things wouldn't function as like a neurotypical child. Just depending on where things showed up in her cells, she could be affected. So as she grew, right now she's 11, as she grew from a baby and onwards, there were certain things that were just delayed. So whatever typical age babies sit up by themselves, she didn't. She had very low muscle tone. She didn't walk until she was a little after 2. And I just remember we were in the hospital room because I was pregnant with my second child, Nyla. And Naomi wasn't yet walking. But she was kind of in this trying off and on. Like, I'm going to try it, maybe not. I'm going to try it, maybe not. And I remember that it was in the hospital room, and I'm going to try not to tear up about this because this is very close. It was in the hospital room that she had sort of stood up and she had taken her step. And that was the first step that she had taken while I was pregnant, about to give birth to my second child, right? 2 years old and a few months. And so when I think about consistency, I think about her. And I want you to think about this in relation to you, right? When you start to make the decision or put the pieces into play and you start to believe that, yeah, it's possible, there's something on the other side. Yeah, it didn't go right last time. Maybe that business wasn't the right business. Maybe I wasn't sharing my dreams with the right people. Maybe I didn't have enough confidence in myself, but I got to keep going. I got to keep going. I have to do this. That attitude of consistency is what allows you to be in that place of feeling in full control and being in full control of your time, your talent, and your identity. And it is such an important one. I can't preach it enough. I'm trying not to be preachy to you, but this is an important one for you to just grab onto as you move forward. Super, super important for your journey. Now, let's move on to commitment. So I like to say that those who really, really, really move forward are the ones that keep going when other people quit. It just is what it is. And consistency and commitment, they go hand in hand, right? They really do. But when you think about commitment and you think about you being this full-time entrepreneur and the life of freedom, and I can choose my day and I can do what I want to do and I can choose who I want to work with. Yes, all this is true. All of this is possible. But one of the things that happens on this journey sometimes is we neglect to anchor ourselves into what will keep us committed. So I want you to think about this for a second and just sort of give me a word, give me a phrase, give me a whatever to help fill in the sentence. People generally stay committed to things that what? Anything. Drop it. People generally stay committed to things that what? So while you're getting your thoughts together, go ahead, drop them, because this is going to be one that I want you to directly chew and reflect on. Am I giving you homework? Yeah, I'm giving you some homework. Because, again, when you're serious about your journey and path to ownership, you do what you need to do to make it happen. Think about your own spouse, a relationship that you're in now. Maybe it's with a child, right? Whatever it is, you're committed to them and they mean something to you, right? Perhaps, yes, just by the nature of the fact that maybe you birthed this child or you got married to this person. Either way, they mean something to you, and that's why you show up so fully and so present in the relationship. Well, here's the thing. That same piece applies when you're talking about your business. Now, you can choose to not have it apply, and that's the thing. But when we talk about commitment, we'll talk about how that plays in. So when you think about your business, and I always end up in sort of interesting debates. Actually, one of these did happen on a podcast episode with someone that I had on Ambition, Honey, and Hustle. Big entrepreneur, but more on the, I get into businesses to just find the business that's going to make me the money, then go to the next one, then go to the next one. The reality is, though, what he was committed to was the idea of, I want to see that growth. And I love the fun of the growth and seeing something grow and jumping out of it and jumping into it and jumping out of it and seeing it grow, right? That was kind of his real commitment that was going on. So I'm saying this to say this to you. When you talk about having full ownership, right, and having something that, again, begets legacy creation, you're going to need commitment there. So you can choose to go into a business because you heard it was going to make you a lot of money, or people are making a lot of money doing XYZ, but you really could care less about it. You just, well, this is a money maker, let me do it. Okay, you can go forward and it will work. But when you talk about commitment and when you talk about, well, what about when things get rough in that business? Or what about when things don't go the way they should go? Or what about the days when you're sitting at home and there's money surrounding you, but you feel empty and you don't feel fulfilled and you're missing that piece, right? So goes the commitment. So that's why it's so important, and we always teach this in the accelerator, we start with impact. So I say that to you too. As you're thinking about the business that you're either building right now, and I'm going to challenge you on this. If you think about the business that you are building right now or that you hope to one day build, ask yourself, what is the impact that I am creating through this business? Is this an impact that lights me up? Now, I don't care when days are up or down, because that's the reality of entrepreneurship, right? Full ownership of creation, all of that, it happens, that I stay committed to it. So those are the things that I just wanted to touch on for you all today as we talk about consistency and commitment, and that I want you to just go back and think about for yourself and for your business. And as I talk through those couple things, if you feel like your consistency and commitment needs a bit of adjustment based on what's there and what you heard me just talk about, then go and do it. Because the best place of creating ownership of your time, your talent, and your identity is through a place that feels aligned and that feels fulfilling. And one, that has to do with impact, and two, that has to do with you applying that consistent action, consistent belief, consistent go forward. Okay? So that's all I really have for you all today. So with that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening. Consistency, commitment, make it all happen. Talk to you all again very soon. See you later.